We're going to touch again on anchor points, and we'll show you guys something over here. These are some of the arrows I shoot. As you can see, these two are fill points. You look at the length of these, you will notice that these three are all the same. They have the same nocks. This one is slightly shorter with a normal knock. These are X nocks from Vermeil Archery. These are fast nocks. They're very, very good for quick reloading, as the name suggests. This is a 31-inch arrow, Kryptos, Allen Archery, with a very large broadhead on it. And we'll be doing some green screen effects here in a little while, and you will not be able to see this. So I could probably turn it into, or put some designs on it so it looks like something different in a black color marker or Sharpie. We'll see. But anyway, yeah. So the anchor point thing becomes a problem when you are testing equipment out, doing different forms of archery, hunting. I have some 20. Show you. Where are you at? These are 28-inch, 29-inch arrows. They have a specific type of broadhead on them that I use for medium size to small game. Well, we'll say game, but they're predator or any coyotes that you would go into a field and encounter. I would use these. Packs of coyotes run. I really haven't heard too much on coyotes this year, and I've heard even less on people hunting deer in this area. Not a whole lot of deer meets car traffic either. So on that side note, there's been a lot less animal movement that I'm aware of, even though I've talked to several people who own farms just south of me. This town's about 3 miles long, north to south. Once you get out to 3 Mile Bridge, you're in the country. You're in the country anyway around here, but anyway, you're in the sticks when you're at 3 Mile Bridge, and you start to go into the rolling fields of corn and soybeans and so on, and you have quite a bit of animal activity out there. But as far as closer to town, normally you hear the coyotes at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. It's dead quiet anyway. No. I mean, it's not even 500 yards. Yeah, well, that house I know is 500 yards on Google. And that's the ridge line of that hill. So when you go past that house, that's all cornfields for miles, all the way out to State Road 74 going into Indy. So that being said, excuse me, not a whole lot of animal activity on a side note. And I really haven't been able to get out and use my arrows like I wanted to. This was a little crooked. I'm going to check on why that is. I'll loosen this one up. I'm going to put this over here. But these arrows are all different lengths, and they all perform a different function. You can see that the longer, these are the ones I made. I made these. Just got the carbon shafts, fletching jig, put the fletchings on there. Not a great job. This is actually my very first batch. Putting these on their right wing, 5-inch arrowheads, or 4 or 5, but anyway, we'll just say 5. And they react differently than the vanes or the vinyl or rubber or whatever you want to call this. These are stiffer and a lot easier to work with as opposed to these, which are really, really flimsy. But I can go out to 50 yards on these. I've demonstrated that in an older video. 50-yard hit. And, yeah, this is an arrow I want to take out to 50 yards. I haven't been able to do that yet and go from there. But that being said, arrows, nocking points. They changed these are 31-inch arrows here, so they'll all pretty much have the similar point, and I know what arrow I'm shooting when I'm shooting it, and depending upon the bow, the turkey shorts bow, you don't go past 30 inches on those because it becomes unsafe. 32, no. With the Mongolian horse bow, I can take this all the way back to probably 34, 35 if I wanted to, but I don't have 36-inch arrows to play with. I do have a 36, but that one broke. It was this one, and I honed the point down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shove it in a target and just split it with one of those broad, see that green broadhead? Probably something like that. So these arrows are roughly 34, 35 inches. They're 200 grain field points, so they're a little longer than I'm 100 grain. So these are 7-liter Dragon 10s. I think they're 32 total inches on the shafts, and then you had or 33. Because I don't cut the shafts down. I just leave them as is, put the inserts in. The knock's already in there, and throw some heads on them, and that's it. Field points are what I use for combat archery. This is the combat archery style of field point, like I do on the arrows I made. But these right here are just heavier hitting than 100 grain, which is better penetration. These field points come extremely sharp. When you poke, you're definitely going to poke into your skin, and that's going to be pretty good. But this goes all the way to the burlap center part and pushes it towards the back. So, yeah, this has good penetration. These arrowheads are good penetration on these arrows. I have this one marked at 28 and 30 inches. So, got another 2. Yeah, it's 33-inch arrow. 2 or 3 inches right here, plus the 1.5 inches. So it's about 34, 35 inch total all the way from tip to tip. So your anchor point's going to be different on this one than it will be on this one, which is a 30-inch arrow. This is one I bought, 3.5 inch, I do believe, vanes or feathers. And so you're going to have a variation in anchor points based upon what you're doing. And that's what's, a lot of people don't realize, well, you don't have an anchor point. You're not a professionally trained archer. No, I am a professionally trained monkey. So, yeah, that's how that goes. I can peel a banana and do it right first time. However, that being said, it really all depends. This is the down. So I'm going to put some tape on this. That really all depends on what type of arrow you're shooting, what you're shooting it for. If you're just doing archery target practice like I do, then no big deal. I mean, I can take this all the way back. So you probably get a 34-inch draw on this. Easy. It just all depends, right? So, I mean, these longer bows, which they are marked long bow, this is a 54 or 56 inch. I can't remember. The same as the Manchu bow here, 56 or 58. But you're talking about differences in draw lengths based upon, this is a heavier bow, draw lengths based upon arrows. And you can go back quite a far with these, so quite a far. Yeah, I made that word up. So you can really pull these things back a good distance. So that way you can get your arrow whistling down through there like no tomorrow, basically. So that being said, anchor points are really going to be different. I use different bows, different arrows. I'm not going to have the same anchor point. It's just not combat archery Slavic draw. I mean, you can put your thumb on your, jaw when you go back and be your anchor point to remind yourself that's where you're supposed to be. But you notice I couldn't pull this arrow all the way back, about 28 inches right here. I can pull this all the way back to the back of my ear. if I'm up here, but I'm more along the shoulder line when I'm doing this, and I get good accuracy nonetheless out to 50 yards. And I was shooting 30 outside a couple days ago, 30 yards. That's the end of the driveway to the alley, so it works. I mean, I'm happy with it. So as far as anybody, jumping into comments and saying, "Oh, you don't have an anchor point, you're not professionally trained," it's what relevance is that to compared to the style of bow I shoot, my short bow, and you see the difference in the size in this, about a foot. So 48, yeah. Now I have a 60, which I broke the limb on. Did a video on that. Still not happy about me not hitting record for that shot, because you would have seen it, the piece fly off. So that would have been something epic, in my opinion. But anyway, just know what you're talking about, because with the variations of bows I'm using, I'm going to come up to here, or I'm going to be back here, or up here, or down here. It just depends on what I'm doing. There's no exact on any of this. And yes, there can be, because if you're shooting a shelf bow where you put your arrow on a rest compound or recurve, you have a much different approach to how you shoot. You're shooting a target for precision. I'm shooting an 18 by 18 inch target, and I'm spraying arrows around. Now, I don't want to group. I do group. Yes, I do group. But I don't want to, because I've already got destroyed nocks on some of these arrows. And they went up $20. So the last I seen, they were $99 for 24. And same straightness, 001 straightness. So what relevance is that to anything? Really nothing to me. Because, I still have fun shooting anywhere from 30 yards to 5 yards at a target. So we'll have some more on this probably, because people chime in not knowing that when I say, it really don't need a knocking point for me. That's not what I do. But you doing your precision shooting, competition shooting, bare bow competition, whatever you do, you would be doing a definite one position knocking point coming up here, putting band-aids on your nose because your arrow's going to go past that and scrape your nose otherwise. Not the arrow, but the string. Sorry. So I've seen that, and that's what people do. That is their exact form and way that they shoot. So not a big deal. I like it. I like what they do. I watch their stuff. I take pointers from all the other archers and compile it into my own different thing. So this is what we do. A lot of people shoot different bows and try to take a traditional bow and put it into their modern style bow form and or how they deliver. So that doesn't work. This is a Manchu bow style from Long Bowmaker, Pigskin. They don't even make this anymore. You can't even get this one. So it's rare. Once it breaks or becomes dysfunctional, then it'll be just sitting in the corner somewhere. But I'm glad I got the string on there, so that way I can use it. This is a good bow to use. And you can pull back to, like I said, this is a 35 inch, 34 and a half, 35 inch. So think about that. Oh. Also remember what I said. These nocks are really wide in the mouth and throat, so they won't hold on. If you pull back too far or pinch this in a wrong way, like you just seen, it'll pop off. So, yeah. And I think I'm getting about 47 to 48 when I pull back that far. So I'll put this on a scale later and show you guys. But yeah, when it comes to specific types of archery, yes, you do have to do the anchor point to be consistent in your shooting and what you're doing. When it comes to the style of archery I do, And the variations of bows that I have, lengths of arrows, that's just not possible, not feasible, not doable at all. So remember that, and you'll do well. So y'all have a wonderful day. Stay warm. Still snow covered like a mofo out there. Yeah, you know, it is what it is, Mother Nature. But drink coffee. You'll be all right.